First contact and defiance. The morning started like any other in Mumbai until shadows larger than storm clouds swept across the city. Traffic stopped. People emerged from buildings, shading their eyes against the sun to witness something that would forever change humanity's place in the universe. 27 massive vessels materialized in Earth's atmosphere, each one a floating fortress of gleaming metal and pulsing energy shields. Marcus Chen stood on the balcony of the United Nations headquarters in New York, his weathered hands gripping the railing. At 58, the Secretary General had navigated countless political crises, but nothing had prepared him for this moment. The largest ship positioned itself directly above Manhattan, its shadow turning noon into twilight. His assistant, Sarah Mitchell, rushed onto the balcony with a tablet clutched in her trembling hands. "Sir, they're appearing everywhere. Moscow, London, Tokyo, São Paulo. Every major population center has one hovering above it. The ships belonged to the Zephyrian Empire, though humanity would not learn this name for another 3 hours. They waited in silence, letting fear spread through social media, news channels, and panicked phone calls between loved ones. When they finally spoke, it was through every electronic device on the planet simultaneously. The voice that emerged was deep and mechanical, translated into every human language with perfect clarity. Species designation, human. Planet designation, Earth. You are now subjects of the eternal Zephyrian Empire. I am Emperor Korthax, ruler of 17 star systems and commander of the fleet above your world. Your primitive civilization has been evaluated and found suitable for integration into our empire as a labor force. Resistance will result in the immediate sterilization of your planet. You have 72 of your hours to dismantle all military installations and prepare for governance transition. This is not a negotiation. The transmission ended as abruptly as it began. In the silence that followed, Marcus felt the weight of 8 billion souls pressing down on his shoulders. He turned to Sarah, whose face had gone pale but whose eyes burned with determination. "Summon the emergency council. Every nation, every leader. We have 3 days to decide humanity's fate." While politicians debated in conference rooms, Professor Elena Rodriguez worked in an underground laboratory beneath MIT. The theoretical physicist had spent the last decade studying quantum mechanics and dimensional theory. Now, as she watched the alien ships through her laboratory's monitors, patterns emerged that others might miss. The energy signatures from their shields fluctuated in a rhythm she recognized from her research into subatomic particles. "James, look at this," she called to her research partner, Dr. James Okonkwo. The Nigerian scientist adjusted his glasses as he studied the readings Elena had captured. "The shield harmonics are operating on a quantum frequency we've only theorized about. If these readings are correct, their technology manipulates space-time at the molecular level." Elena nodded, her mind racing through calculations. "But look closer at the pattern. See how it pulses every 43 seconds? That's not random. It's a reset cycle, probably to prevent system overload. For exactly 0.3 seconds during each cycle, the shields are completely vulnerable." James's eyes widened as he understood the implications. "We need to get this information to the military immediately. This could be the advantage we need." In Beijing, General Zhang Wei convened with military leaders from around the world via secure video conference. The 60-year-old veteran had fought in 3 wars, but those conflicts seemed trivial compared to what humanity now faced. On the screens before him appeared the faces of his counterparts: Admiral Rebecca Stone from the United States, Marshal Dmitry Volkov from Russia, General Amit Singh from India, and dozens of others. "Our conventional weapons are useless against their shields," Admiral Stone reported. "We've run simulations based on the energy readings. Even our most powerful nuclear weapons would barely scratch their hulls." Marshal Volkov leaned forward, his scarred face grim. "Then we don't fight conventionally. History teaches us that superior technology doesn't guarantee victory. The Mongols conquered most of the known world with horses and arrows. The Vietnamese defeated the might of America with tunnels and determination." General Singh spoke up from his command center in New Delhi. "I agree. We cannot match them ship to ship, but Earth is our territory. We know every mountain, every valley, every hidden cave. If they want to occupy our world, they'll have to come down here and take it." As military leaders strategized, ordinary people around the world faced their own battles with fear and uncertainty. In São Paulo, Maria Santos gathered her 3 children close as they watched the massive ship hovering over their city. Her husband Carlos had been called to duty with the Brazilian military, leaving her to comfort their terrified family alone. "Mama, are we going to die?" asked her youngest, 7-year-old Anna. Maria pulled the girl closer, fighting back her own tears. "No, my love. Humans have survived ice ages, plagues, and wars. We're stronger than these aliens know. We don't give up. Ever." Similar scenes played out across the globe as families huddled together, some praying, others planning, all united in their refusal to simply surrender to an unknown fate. The human spirit, often divided by borders and beliefs, began to coalesce into something stronger. Back at the United Nations, Marcus Chen stood before an assembly of world leaders. The usual political divisions seemed petty in the face of extinction. "We have heard from our scientists and our generals. Dr. Rodriguez has identified a weakness in their shields. General Zhang and his colleagues have developed a coordinated defense strategy. The question before us is simple. Do we surrender and hope for mercy from beings who see us as nothing more than laborers, or do we fight for our freedom?" President Alexandra Cole of the United States stood first. The United States will never bow to tyranny, whether it comes from Earth or the stars. President Yuki Tanaka of Japan rose next. "Japan stands with humanity. We choose resistance." One by one, leaders stood, each pledging their nation's resources to the defense of Earth. The vote was unanimous. Earth would fight. As the deadline approached, humanity prepared its response. Hidden in bunkers and secret facilities, scientists worked around the clock to weaponize Elena Rodriguez's discovery. Military forces dispersed into hidden positions, avoiding the concentrations that would make easy targets. Civilians evacuated from major cities or prepared underground shelters. On the final hour of the ultimatum, Marcus Chen delivered humanity's response. The message was broadcast on all frequencies, ensuring the Zephyrians would receive it. He stood tall, representing not just one nation but all of Earth. "Emperor Korthax, on behalf of the people of Earth, we have considered your demand. We are a species that has survived for hundreds of thousands of years. We have faced extinction before and emerged stronger. We have fought amongst ourselves, yes, but we have also loved, created, and dreamed. You see us as primitive, as laborers to be enslaved. You are wrong. We are humans. We are free. And we reject your ultimatum. If you want Earth, you'll have to take it from us." The response came within minutes. Beams of brilliant white energy lanced down from the Zephyrian ships, vaporizing buildings in seconds. New York, London, Moscow, and Tokyo burned. But even as cities crumbled, humanity's response began. Hidden missile sites launched their payloads, timed precisely to strike during the shield vulnerability windows Elena had discovered. The first successful hit came from a submarine-launched ballistic missile that struck a Zephyrian vessel over the Pacific. The explosion tore through the ship's hull, sending it crashing into the ocean in a spectacular display of flame and debris. The destruction of that single ship sent a message more powerful than any words. Humanity would not go quietly into servitude. Humanity's counteroffensive 6 months had passed since the Zephyrians arrived, and Earth had become a battlefield unlike any in human history. The initial bombardment had destroyed much of humanity's surface infrastructure, but the aliens had underestimated human adaptability. Resistance cells operated from the ruins of every major city, using guerrilla tactics that the technologically superior Zephyrians struggled to counter. Captain Michael Torres led one such cell in the ruins of Los Angeles. The former Navy SEAL had assembled a diverse group of fighters. Dr. Jennifer Park, a chemist who created improvised weapons from salvaged materials. André Baptiste, a French engineer who specialized in sabotage. And Yuki Nakamura, a Japanese hacker who had learned to intercept Zephyrian communications. Together they had become one of the most effective resistance units on the West Coast. "Tonight we hit their processing center," Michael told his team as they gathered in an abandoned subway tunnel. The Zephyrians had begun constructing facilities to extract Earth's resources, using captured humans as forced labor. "Jennifer, are the charges ready?" The chemist nodded, holding up a backpack filled with her homemade explosives. "These should be powerful enough to bring down their entire structure. The compound I've developed reacts specifically with their building materials." The team moved through the destroyed city under cover of darkness. The Zephyrians had superior technology, but they struggled with Earth's environment. Their sensors couldn't penetrate the thick smoke from still burning fires. and their hover vehicles had difficulty navigating the rubble-strewn streets. Humans, on the other hand, knew every shortcut, every hiding spot, every advantage the ruins provided. Meanwhile, in the hidden command bunker beneath Cheyenne Mountain, General Jiang Wei coordinated global resistance efforts with the surviving military leadership. The bunker had become humanity's unofficial capital, protected by mountains of rock that even Zephyrian weapons couldn't easily penetrate. "Report from the European resistance," Admiral Stone announced. "They've successfully destroyed 3 resource extractors in the past week. The Zephyrians are pulling back from rural areas to consolidate their forces in major cities." Marshal Volkov studied the tactical display showing resistance activity worldwide. "They're learning that Earth is harder to hold than to conquer. Every forest, every mountain range, every desert has become a fortress for our people." General Singh added, "Our people in India report something interesting. They've noticed Zephyrian patrols avoiding certain areas after nightfall. It seems they have difficulty with Earth's varied climates and atmospheric conditions. The most significant development came from an unexpected source. In the ruins of Berlin, a resistance cell led by former police officer Hans Miller made contact with a Zephyrian who claimed to be a defector. The alien, who called himself Velex, was smaller than the warrior-class Zephyrians humanity had encountered. His skin was a lighter shade of blue, and his 4 eyes showed what humans might interpret as exhaustion. "Your species is unlike the others we've conquered," Velex told Hans through a translation device he had modified. "Most surrender immediately when faced with our superior technology. But you humans, you fight with a ferocity we've never encountered." Many in the Empire's scientific caste believed this invasion was a mistake. Hans remained skeptical but intrigued. "Why should we trust you?" Velex produced a data crystal. "Because I can give you the specifications for our atmospheric processors. The Empire plans to terraform Earth to match our homeworld's environment. The process will kill every living thing on your planet within 5 years." This information reached the command bunker within days, adding urgency to humanity's resistance. Elena Rodriguez, now working with a team of international scientists, analyzed the data Velex had provided. "It's worse than we thought," she reported to the military leadership. "The terraforming process has already begun. We can see changes in atmospheric composition over their major bases. We have perhaps 2 years before the damage becomes irreversible." The revelation sparked Operation Prometheus, humanity's most ambitious counteroffensive. The plan was elegantly simple in concept but staggeringly complex in execution. Using Velex's information and Elena's research, humans would turn the Zephyrians' own technology against them. The key was a virus, not biological but electronic, designed to exploit a backdoor in Zephyrian systems that Velex had revealed. Yuki Nakamura led the team of hackers responsible for creating the virus. Working from hidden locations around the world, they crafted code that would spread through Zephyrian networks, disabling their shields and weapon systems simultaneously. "The beauty of this virus," Yuki explained to the assembled resistance leaders via encrypted communication, "is that it uses their own quantum entanglement communications against them. Once it infects one ship, it will instantly spread to all connected systems." But the virus needed to be uploaded directly to a Zephyrian command ship, which meant a suicide mission. Captain Michael Torres volunteered immediately. "My team has been training for something like this. We know their patrol patterns, their weaknesses. Give us the virus and we'll get it where it needs to go." The night of the operation, resistance cells worldwide launched coordinated attacks to distract the Zephyrians. In Moscow, fighters led by former Spetsnaz operative Natasha Petrova destroyed a communication hub. In Cairo, a team led by Egyptian engineer Ahmed Hassan sabotaged a power station. In Sydney, Australian forces emerged from the outback to strike at supply convoys. While the Zephyrians responded to these attacks, Michael's team infiltrated the command ship hovering over Los Angeles. Using stolen Zephyrian armor and Velex's access codes, they made it deep into the vessel before being discovered. Jennifer and Andre held off Zephyrian warriors while Yuki uploaded the virus. Michael watched his friends fall one by one, buying precious seconds with their lives. "Upload complete," Yuki shouted just as a Zephyrian blade found its mark. Michael, wounded but still standing, activated the dead man's switch on Jennifer's final explosive charge. He thought of his daughter, safe in an underground bunker as the timer counted down. "For Earth," he whispered. The explosion that destroyed the command ship's core was visible from the ground. But more importantly, The virus had uploaded successfully. Within minutes, Zephyrian ships around the world began losing power. Shields flickered and failed. Weapon systems went offline. For the first time since their arrival, the invaders were vulnerable. Humanity struck with everything it had left. Nuclear missiles, conventional weapons, and improvised explosives rained down on the suddenly defenseless alien fleet. Some Zephyrian ships managed to escape Earth's atmosphere, fleeing back to their empire with tales of a species too dangerous to conquer. Others crashed into oceans and continents, their advanced technology now nothing more than massive tombs. The battle for Earth wasn't over in a single day. Pockets of Zephyrian ground forces continued fighting for weeks. But without their ships, without reinforcements, and facing a human population that had tasted victory, their defeat was inevitable. The last Zephyrian commander surrendered 2 months after Operation Prometheus, choosing captivity over death. Emperor Korthax's final transmission to Earth came from beyond the solar system. "You have won this battle, humans, but the Empire is eternal. We will remember your defiance." Marcus Chen, still serving as humanity's representative, crafted the response. "Let the Empire remember this. Earth is defended. We are not conquerors, but we are not victims either. Any species that comes in peace will find friends here. Any that come with chains will find only fire and fury. This is our world. These are our skies, and we will never kneel." In the aftermath, humanity emerged changed. The divisions that had once seemed so important faded in the face of what they had accomplished together. Cities would be rebuilt, wounds would heal, and life would continue. But now humans looked at the stars not with wonder alone, but with the knowledge that they had earned their place among them through courage, sacrifice, and an unbreakable will to remain free. Velix, the Zephyrian defector who had helped save Earth, stood beside Elena Rodriguez as they watched the sunset from a partially rebuilt New York. "Your species is remarkable," he said. "The Empire conquers through fear and superior force, but you conquered through something else entirely." Elena smiled, thinking of all those who had given their lives for this moment. "Hope, Velix, we conquered through hope, and the refusal to let anyone take it from us." As the sun set on a free Earth, children played in the rubble of fallen cities, their laughter a defiant song against the darkness. The Empire had demanded submission, but Earth had given them flames. And in those flames, humanity had forged itself into something stronger, something united, something that would never again bow to tyranny from the stars.